Bobby Kimball, you have been the voice of Toto in everyone's ears and minds.
Lead vocalist of the band Toto. 2 different times. I sang on the first 4 albums, and I was out of Toto in 1984. I moved over to Germany for 6 years, and when I got back, they told me I had to come back into Toto, and then I did more CDs with them.
We're all dealing with this virus and staying home. What are you doing to remain positive?
Well, let me tell you, right now, I think everyone probably knows, don't go too many places. Number one, the airport in Los Angeles is closed because of the coronavirus. I noticed that 20,000 people have died now.
Terrible stuff.
This virus is terrible.
Absolutely.
I usually do a lot of shows, and that's not a problem to me, doing shows all over the world. When I left Toto the first time, I had met so damn many great musicians all over the world, in the Far East, in Europe, South America, whatever. And anyhow, I met some great people that play. I have 6 agents that book me, and these agents booked me so much, and when they did, instead of me having a band right here in Los Angeles and flying them all over the world, it would cost me about $30,000 to get their tickets. So I called those musicians that I had met when I was on the road with Toto, and they were so awesome, these musicians I met. And when I had an agent giving me a tour in South America, in Europe, in the Far East, whatever, I called those musicians, sent them the music that I needed to do, and sent them the set list. And buddy, I sent it about 2 weeks before, but the deal is when I got to where I was going, they knew those songs better than me. They were absolutely awesome players. And they told me I was the best singer they ever had with them. And I said, oh my God, you guys are one of the best bands I've ever heard.
Well, that's one thing I've always taken away from my experience with you. Like, first of all, you're very appreciative and very positive. Like, when I worked with you, you were just so remarkable to work with and so enthusiastic. And when I heard you sing, your voice, man, was so powerful.
John Signorella, you tell me the name of that song that I sang on the chorus when I was in Las Vegas.
Tomorrow. It was called Tomorrow. Yeah.
Well, that was damn fun to do that chorus.
I had so much fun, and you're so soulful. And I'm going to tell you a story about the first time I ever heard you live was on the Falling in Between tour. And okay, you know where I'm going with this. So you sing the opening track, and you hit that first note. I just want to find, and I can't even do it. It's not. I'll never come close. But you hit that first note, and it was the most powerful thing I've ever heard.
Oh man, when I was at that hotel that you picked me up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let me tell you, I didn't bring any money with me when I got there, and you paid me a little money when I did the chorus, and when I went back to that hotel, I found out they had a casino underground, not on the first floor. But I took the money you gave me. I went down to the casino, and I had about $200 in my pocket. John, I played blackjack, and I won $800 with that 200.
Well, you did better with my money than I've ever done in Vegas with my own money. So,
well,
I'm thankful.
Getting that money from you made it so awesome for me, and I couldn't believe it.
Of course.
But I really enjoyed singing that tomorrow. I thought it was really, really a nice song.
Thank you so much, and I was so appreciative of the work you did there, and it was just remarkable. And I remember with the blackjack, you had some chips left over that you mailed over to me, and I went over to the casino and cashed them in and mailed it back to you. But it's an amazing story. So let's get into Toto and your work with Toto. I mean, obviously, the first record, remarkable, Hold the Line, just an amazing song. There's so many things I want to talk to you about with your experience with Toto. Can I ask you a question? What was it like to work with Jeff Porcaro?
Oh, my God. I got to tell you, Jeff Porcaro was absolutely the best drummer on planet Earth. And the thing is, I got to tell you, David Paich went to Jeff Porcaro's house. Okay, it's probably about a 25-minute drive into North Hollywood. He went to Jeff's house. David, the keyboard player, and Jeff, the drummer, they were the ones picking out the members for the band. Well, the deal is, I got to tell you, the reason they knew me, okay, in 1974, I was still in Louisiana, and I got a call. Oh, by the way, I was playing in 1974. I was playing a concert with my solo band in Dallas, Texas. Anyhow, the band was really good down there, and he said, Bobby, he says, my phone just rang, and the people on it want to talk with you. And one of the people on that telephone was a guy named John Smith. And John Smith was the absolute most awesome saxophone player I had ever heard in my life in Louisiana. But I sang with his band so damn many times. And the thing is, when I got on that telephone in Dallas at the concert thing, it was John Smith and a bass player, drummer, and guitar player from the band Three Dog Night. Can you imagine that? Well, right. The deal is, John said that he came out to visit in Los Angeles for 3 weeks, and the manager of Three Dog Night had been taking too much of their money, and the singers in Three Dog Night left the band. And that band was one of the best I ever heard in my life, and I used to do a lot of their songs. But they were great. The singers left, and the band broke up, and the bass player, drummer, guitar player, they were putting a band together, another one. And they got John Smith. They knew him because he is such a great saxophone player. They did the first rehearsal. They did not have a vocalist. And they asked John if he knew, and he told them me. And that's why they called me while I was in Dallas. And 2 days later, I left Louisiana and moved to Los Angeles in 1974. Well, we rehearsed for 2 solid months. The band was called SS Fools. I wrote a couple of the songs on their first album. But anyhow, we rehearsed for 2 months at this guy's house. And the deal is about 10 or 15 times while we were rehearsing, David Page and Jeff Picoro knew those Three Dog Night guys. They came over there, and I was playing piano and singing. But several times they came over to me when, when we were finished rehearsing, and they said, "Oh, hell, man, we like you very much," and I loved them very much too. I knew how great they were. Well, the deal is, I left that band in 15 months because they rehired the manager. Oh my God. We were on a 20 concert tour, and they rehired the manager when each one of the Three Dog Night guys got, I think it was a 9,000 gallon royalty for some. Well, they hired the manager, and I left the band because the next night, instead of making $2,000, I made $12.50. Yeah, I had my wife and my daughter in a house out here in North Hollywood, and when I got not $2,000, I got $12.50. I could not send them money for, to take care of the house, to take care of food and all that. Well, the thing is, when I left that band, I came back to L.A., left that band, and I was at home for about a month, and all of a sudden I got a call from David Page and Jeff Picoro, and the reason was David, he drove about 20 or 25 minutes to Jeff's house, and they sat on a couch and they talked for 2 hours about the people they were going to put into their band. And they didn't have a name for the band yet. But after 2 hours, they looked over, the television was on, and there was a movie, The Wizard of Oz, and a little dog ran out of a house, and a guy ran behind it and said, "Toto, we're not in Kansas anymore." Well, Jeff tapped David's shoulder and told him, says, "Oh, that's got to be the name of the band, Toto." And that's when they named it Toto, and I absolutely adored that. But, that was the name of the very first album. It was just Toto. It didn't have another name. And the thing is, I sang with them many, many times. And, Jeff Picoro?
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
My favorite drummer of all time, man. Yeah.
Well, God, Jeff Picoro was such an awesome drummer.
Oh, his feel, his dynamics, his precision. And I want to say this, there's so many directions I could go in.
He was absolutely amazing to me. Oh, and by the way, when they called me and asked me to come into their band, I told my wife, because she was going places, she was working, but she was going places, and my daughter was left at home, and I took care of her. But I told her, I said, "Listen, I'm going to give you this house, you and my daughter. I don't want both of you to be homeless." And Jeff Picoro asked me to come over to his house. I stayed in his guest room for 3 weeks in the beginning of Toto. Not a problem.
Amazing.
But then we made a deal, and I bought a house, and I paid cash for my house, and it was so awesome to me. But anyhow, my God.
The first record,
the
Child,
first, yes.
Yeah, Anthem, I'll Supply the Love, Georgie Porgy, Run Manuel, Run.
Yes,
wow.
Steve Lukather sang George Porgy.
Yeah, and Girl Goodbye is probably, I'm going to say this, I think it's one of my favorite
for sure.
songs. Oh, Bob, you kill that song, bro. Like,
I'll Supply the Love.
Yeah.
Manuel Run, You Are the Flower. Oh, You Are the Flower. I wrote that about my 9-month-old daughter, and the first time I went to record with Toto, they went ahead. They recorded it twice, and the second time that was okay. And we put that on the album too. But "Girl Goodbye" I sang. Rockmaker, oh my God, Hold the Line.
Yeah, Hold the Line. I mean, there is
that was
a
an
version.
awesome single.
Yes, there was a version of "Girl Goodbye" that you guys did in live in Amsterdam, which was so amazing. Like the harmonies and the passion that you put through to the vocals of that song. It's just remarkable.
I got to tell you, that was very, very fun for me.
Yeah, I could tell. And that's what I always loved about you. And what made me want to gravitate towards getting to know you is I could tell your passion, your positivity. It's remarkable, Bobby. And I am so thankful for that. There are so many things we could talk about, but I have to bring up Toto 4. One of the greatest albums in the history of music.
It was.
Period.
And do you know when we recorded the Toto 4 album? 1981. And
my goodness.
We released it, and in 1982, we went on a whole 1-year tour all over the world. And about 2 weeks, we were in Minneapolis. And the thing is the last encore song, Steve Lukather would play a very long solo, and all the other guys would just walk off the stage just for a few minutes, so we just let him do his thing. And when it was time for us to run back on, I was going to scream. I was going to scream like that, but the thing is, I always, when I jumped over the monitor speaker, and this monitor speaker was kind of tilted up. And when I stepped on that and screamed, I went down, and my left leg broke. It was completely broke. It was a 99% direction to the left, and the top of my leg was down straight. Well, my God! But anyhow, we did not stop any touring. It was absolutely awesome. But we played the very next night, and when we were 2 hours below that place where I broke it, and I was in an electric wheelchair with a wireless mic, and I got on the stage and sang the songs, but we had 3 days off, but the band went to New York, and me and the manager went back to the place where I broke it, and we went to the hospital. The manager had called a guy, a doctor. He was a sport specialist doctor in New York. He called him and he says, because no one in that first city would do a thing to my broken leg. They wouldn't do it. And anyhow, that guy from New York was at that place. We went back to that hospital, and he was there. He brought me in the back of the room for 9.5 hours. He fixed my knee, and I had a cast on it. It was unbelievable. But the deal is, then me and the manager flew straight to New York, and we finished all of the 1-year tours.
If I'm not mistaken, when you received, I think it was 6 Grammys that Toto 4 got at the Grammys that year, were you on crutches?
Well, the deal is, okay, now listen to this. we did the 1 year tour in 1982,
Right.
but when we got back home in 1983, we got a contact from the Grammys, and they told us no one had ever been, not a band had been adopted for 1 or 2 Grammys for the Toto 4 CD. Toto is nominated for 8 Grammys.
Amazing.
Oh, my God, I couldn't even believe that. But the thing is, when we went there, you know, I didn't have my cast on anymore, and the deal is when we got there, each one of us got 6 Grammys.
Rosanna, Make Believe, Good
Africa.
For You. Yeah, Africa. I mean, let's go there. What was that like, the process? Because that, to me, is one of the biggest hooks and greatest choruses I've ever heard. You know, I never get tired of hearing Africa, ever.
I got to tell you, that have you heard the song Waiting for Your Love?
Oh, and you do a great version in Amsterdam of that.
I wrote that song during the very first Toto CD. We recorded it on the 4th album.
Wow. That is a great song. The bass groove, the piano, the vocals, obviously. Just a great fun dance song, man.
Oh, man. Yeah.
I love that video you guys shot for that, too. That was a great video.
Well, I absolutely adored being in Toto. And I love all the people in Toto, the original members.
Absolutely. I'm going to say one of the greatest bands of all time. I mean, if you look at it, the original inception, like the lineup with Page and then Lukather and yourself and, you know, of course the Picaro is being involved. Like, it's unbelievable what you guys were able to accomplish.
God, I think Jeff Picaro died in 1993.
Yes.
Oh, my God. He was married to this wonderful woman, and anyhow, they moved from his North Hollywood house. They moved out they moved out of Los Angeles, Thousand Oaks, and in their huge backyard, he had a ton of big rose bushes. Well, there were a lot of insects on the rose bushes. Well, Jeff, he had this little machine that would spray something, and he put some he put some insect poison into that machine, and he went out there and he started spraying it all over the rose bushes. And when he did, my God, there's a desert to the east of California. Okay, well, I've got to tell you this. I am allergic to desert plants. A lot of times it gives me, it's hard for me to breathe when I'm getting hit by that. But anyhow, while he was spraying that poison, all of a sudden the wind from that desert started blowing very hard on that area where his house was, and it blew that poison all over Jeff. And he ran inside and told his wife to call an ambulance because he said his left side had felt completely
numb.
bad.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. And anyhow, he went and sat on the couch and about, I don't know how long, but the ambulance came fairly soon. And they picked him up, and on the way, about 15 minutes to the hospital, he died.
Terrible.
Died.
One of the best drummers of all time. I mean, if you look at the battery of work, and I got choked up listening to that, but the battery, if you look at the library, like how many records, how many people he played for and toured with and recorded with, and just all the joy and satisfaction. I mean, the Rosanna groove in itself is a life-changing groove for a drummer. It makes a drummer, if you understand it. And the work with Steely Dan, like Your Gold Teeth too, like, oh my goodness, what a great groove. It's just unreal, Bobby. Like, and the fact that, you were close with him, obviously, and you wrote all these great songs together, and it's just a remarkable experience. Another remarkable experience is that when, unfortunately, after Jeff had passed, you guys went through a drummer or two, and then we had Simon Phillips show up, and you guys recorded, in my opinion, one of the greatest recorded albums of all time, Minefield. This album.
Minefield, yeah.
Yeah. Caught in the Balance, Minefield, High Price of Hate, Cruel. These songs are just so good. Tell me about that experience, if you don't mind.
You go ahead and say it.
Well, for me, I'm going to tell you why I love this album. Simon Phillips is a great drummer. Your vocals, you in my opinion, have always been a great singer, but man, you really kill it on this record in terms of the sound.
It was real fun.
Yeah, I could tell.
Everything I did with Toto was always very, very fun.
Bobby, High Price of Hate, the vocal pitch that you go through, the dynamics, the projection of your voice, like, oh my God. Caught in the Balance, the harmonies in the choruses, oh my goodness. And then you guys follow this one up, you do a cover album, but you come with one of the best albums Toto has ever put out, Falling in Between. Okay.
Yes.
Now,
Falling in Between, my God. You would not believe how great that was, because, I wrote the lyrics for Falling in Between. And I wrote 8 of the lyrics. Oh, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 songs. I wrote 8 lyrics of the 11 songs.
Yeah. And let me say this. One of the most, greatest records you guys ever put out, the title track, unbelievable. Like right away, when you hit that first line, I just got to find my way. I will not try to sing that because I can never get into the register of the vocal, trajectory where you're at. But I knew we were in for some, amazing music. Dying on My Feet, amazing. King of the World, come on. Taint Your World. Let It, so many great, No End in Sight. This is, to me, what classic Toto was, but in a modern era. And what you guys did was the hardest album, like in terms of heaviness. It was a straight up, I'm not going to, sugarcoat this. It was a badass fucking rock and roll record, from my heroes, but it was still Toto. It was amazing to me what you guys accomplished on that album. We are so thankful for it.
That's for sure.
No. And then you guys follow up with the Live in Paris, and you do a version of Isolation on that DVD. And that was the Isolation I always wanted to hear. Bobby, absolutely wonderful. So what are you doing after this interview today?
Oh, after this? Well, actually, I have to, by the way, I don't travel a lot because of coronavirus.
Sure.
And people, so, I got a message that 20,000 people have died on coronavirus in the United States. And I got several messages from Europe and the Far East, South America. People let me know that so many people died because of the coronavirus. And, if I have to go to a store or something, I don't go real far. I go fairly close, but I wear a mask over my mouth and my nose, and I wear gloves.
I was going to ask you, would you mind sharing about, speaking of Jasmine, the dog adoption? Now, more than ever, we need people to adopt dogs. So would you mind sharing some of that information with the listeners?
I think about 4.5 years ago, we got a dog rescue together. But actually, we stopped at this park about 3 blocks from my house, and they were selling dogs and cats and all kinds of things out there, But we pulled up and we got a dog. And it was so awesome to me. It's called Saving Canine Lives. And oh man, Jasmine helps people get really great dogs, and she feeds our dogs so damn well you wouldn't believe it. And our dogs are so healthy. We have a tiny, tiny little one called Bentley. All of our dogs have 2 names, and Bentley is Bentley Rolls Royce. Anyhow, Bentley Rolls Royce. He was about 8 months ago. He was 15 years on a dog. In human, that is 105 years old. And
wow.
Now Bentley Rolls Royce is 16 years old. I can't believe he made it that long, and he's so healthy. Every night, all 7 of our dogs are on bed with us, and Bentley, he always just crawls up my legs and on my chest, and I pet him for about an hour. I make him feel so wonderfully great. And then he'll get between my arm and my side. And when he gets down there, I think he really enjoyed what I did to him. He starts licking me for about an hour.
Bobby, I tell you what, man, I'm a big dog lover. I have a little Chihuahua, and I do the same thing. I give her so much love. And I see that you also love, pets, and you have this beautiful koi fish pond in your backyard. And the way your fish respond to you is telling of how nurturing you are. Once you come, I saw, when you come home, they come up to you like little doggies. They're so happy to see you. And again, I cannot thank you enough for this great interview today.
Oh, listen, I wanted to tell you something. The Hydra album, the second one we did?
Yes.
Okay. Oh my God. All Us Boys, Mama, that was a great song. And White Sister, A Secret Love. And on the third album, it's called Turn Back.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but I did English Eyes, Gift with a Golden Gun, A Million Miles Away, Goodbye, Eleanor.
Okay,
I think
let's talk
I Could
about
Stand You Forever, and
yeah.
If It's the Last Night. Oh, and by the way, on an album after I got back into Toto, one of the things that they wanted to do, by the way, we were over at Jeff Porcaro's house, and there was a studio there, and one of the songs that I sang was an Elton John song, Burn Down the Mission. I had played that for the guys in the band so many times, and all of a sudden they recorded that. But there was a lot of great songs on that album but they wanted that on one of our albums.
I'm so glad that you mentioned Mama. That song, the way it opens with the Mama, I don't love you anymore. Like, I'm not going to attempt to sing. I'm a drummer, and that just doesn't work. But the way you hit that note when it comes in and the soulfulness, and for people that are listening, I want them to understand how great Toto is in versatility. You guys could do funk. You guys could do metal. You could do rock, even punk. Like you said, with All Us Boys. That sounds like punk.
I wish I was in Toto, but the first time I was out in 1984, they hired two different guys for almost an hour. But then they got me back in, and I went back in 1989 until 2008. But I haven't been with them since 2008.
And you kicked ass during that time, man. You guys put out one of the greatest records of Toto. Actually, two, Minefield and Falling in Between are, some of the strongest Toto albums.
Okay, well, let me tell you this. The Falling in Between album, none of the guys had written any songs for that CD. We went to this studio, the drummer's studio. The band went into the studio and jammed for about maybe 3 to 5 hours, and the drummer, he got all of their stuff recorded in the studio, and then the drummer went in there and listened to what their jam was, and he figured out the intro, the verse, the chorus, the outro, and he would make a CD of that, not the whole thing, just he would get the good parts, and he would hand me that CD. I would go home, and about 15 to 18 hours every night, I wrote songs, because the next day I had to go in and sing it.
Yeah, your vocal performance on that record was remarkable. Falling in Between.
It was so fun to me.
Oh, wow, man. Like, the projection of your voice, and I saw you on tour during that time. I went to New York.
Not a problem.
It was B.B. King's, and I was right up front, and your voice projected in such a way, unlike anything I've ever heard. I stopped, and I'm a drummer, so I'm there to watch like Simon Phillips, and of course I love you and your vocals, but I could not take my eyes off of you. I'm like, what? I'm going to say this right now. What the fuck is happening? Like, I cannot believe the volume, and I witnessed it in the studio with you. When you sang on one of my songs, I could not believe the power of your voice, and I can't wait to work with you again.
Well, the deal is on that Falling in Between album, nobody had any songs that they wanted to record at that time, but they jammed so much, and the drummer went in and he figured it out, the whole of the song, each one of them. However, after a while, Steve Lukather brought one song and David Pace brought one song, and they recorded those on there. But I wrote the lyrics for 8 of the songs and sang those.
I love the lyrics of a lot of these songs. Hooked, great. Paint Your World. Oh my God. That song, that shuffle, and you don't wanna fuck with me. Like, come on. Like, when I heard you say that, you don't want to fuck with me, I'm like, dude, this is a badass throwback rock and roll album that the world needed at this time, and we need it right now. And
it's such a knock.
You know, in that lineup, like, I love the original Toto, obviously. Like, you know, your first record, amazing. But this lineup I really enjoyed, in particular live. I thought you guys played off each other really well, looked phenomenal. And that DVD, Live in Paris, is one of my absolute favorites. I might go watch it now. I'm getting so excited thinking about it. Amsterdam was also an amazing concert. Again, you know, to people that are listening, I can't say enough how great you guys harmonized, and your versions of certain old familiar songs were so great. And Gift with a Golden Gun, like, and then when you did covers, the covers that you guys did.
Yeah, that's on the third album. A Gift with a Golden Gun.
Give it to me. Listen to that. People, listen to that. He's still got the voice, you know. It's amazing how you could do that, and you know, just on command, just like that, huh?
Oh, that was awesome, man. I loved it.
Oh, hell yeah. You know, and the covers you guys did, and you know, everything that you've done for music. I mean, you guys' legacy, Toto, or just you, Bobby, in general, because you've done solo work, and the last record you did, We're Not in Kansas Anymore. Let me just say this, man. Congratulations. That was a great album.
Oh, man. And in 2008, we had played about 2.5 years. And we were all over the world. And the last concert, oh, man, when we got back from Europe, we waited 6 days here at home. And then we went down to Arizona. We played 6 different huge cities in Arizona. Then we started going to the Far East. And the last concert that we played was in South Korea. Oh, my God. You wouldn't believe it. And when we finished that they said that the band, that the band is not going to play for a while. And they didn't have any touring. And when we were getting into the vehicle, I told them, I said, gonna take a lot to drag me away from you.
Oh, my God. You just made my day, bro. Hearing you do that, how do you still do it? How do you still do that? It's incredible.
Well,
oh, my God. That chorus is the best chorus of any chorus in any song I've ever heard. I'm a fan.
You gotta know that I absolutely love everyone in Toto, and I always loved that band.
Absolutely. And Bobby, I love you so much. Thank you for spending time with me today. Please remain safe. And I got to end on that note. You just gave me a live version of the Chorus of Africa, and I am so happy right now. Thank you so much, Bobby. Promote the Rock Pack.
Okay. Well, the Rock Pack has 8 famous singers at all times. On my T-shirt, Jimmy Sean's, and that is Shadow Gloria Band, and Dennis Tufano, the Buckingham's, Paul Shortino, and Bobby Kimball, original vocalist of Toto. That's 8.
Amazing lineup.
And you would not believe how wonderful that band is. You know what? When I'm with the Rock Pack on the stage, usually if I go sing first or halfway or close to last, I stand next to the side of the stage and hear the songs that are getting sung because they're always so famous. I don't believe it. And the band is so absolutely wonderful.
This is what I love about you, Bobby. You're still like down to earth, and you appreciate the people that you're around, and you look at it.
Absolutely.
Yes, absolutely, man. This is why I love you. This is why you're a brother to me, and I thank you so much for your time today, Bobby. I really appreciate you.
I got to tell you this. I talked to the owner of the Rock Pack, Kevin Demers. I talked to him before I called you, and he told me that since you are in Las Vegas, he is going to book the Rock Pack in Las Vegas, and I absolutely adore playing in Las Vegas. And
yes, sir.
After I play, I'll go and play. I'll go into the casino and do some blackjack. You will not have to pay to come into that Rock Pack concert for me. I'll let you in for free and backstage. I want you to meet everyone there because you are an awesome musician too.
Thank you, Bobby. That means the world to me. Considering all the people you worked with, thank you.
Anytime you need for me to sing any more songs on your stuff, you just call me. I would love that.
That's an absolute honor, and I get goosebumps just thinking about that. Bobby, thank you so much.
Absolutely, buddy. Can't believe you're thanking me so much. I bless you, and I love you.
Bless the rains down in Africa, brother.
It's raining. It's raining in L.A. right now.
I know. You guys are getting hit over there. Thank you, Bobby. Much love. I'll talk to you soon.
All right, my friend. You take care. And
thank
you very much for this.
Thank you, buddy.
I'm very excited to share with you guys something that I do every day, a key to my happiness, and during these stressful times, a key to my positivity. I take a product called Life Powder from Life Pack Organics. This is a CBD product with a high dosage of vitamin C in it, and it helps boost your immune system. So I want you guys to go check them out at lifepackorganics.com. Right now, they're running a great special for $149.99. You get this great product called Life Powder, which usually costs about $100. And then you also get something called Night Pack, which is a sleep agent, which will help you get better rest at night, especially during these stressful times. I'm sure we're all having a hard time sleeping. And then you also get their pill form of their amazing CBD product. So please visit lifepackorganics.com today to find out more information and why I love this product so much. And make sure you tell them Johnny Sig from Leave It in the Ring sent you.